Wanderers, Season 9 is here, and guess what? The Twisting Blade Rogue looks like it's going to be making a comeback. We're going to be doing a Twisting Blades leveling build. This is what I do every single season. This is going to be paired with the Poison Imbuement. So if you enjoy poison builds with a really fast-paced melee class, this is going to be the build for you. We're going to be using the Blade Dancer aspect to make sure that we get a lot of AoE damage out of this single target damage. So if you like fast-paced, in-your-face AoE damage, this is going to be a great build to get started in Season 9. Now we're going to go over how the planner works. I have several different breakdowns as the leveling process goes through. We have a 1 to 25, we have a level 26 to 40, and then we have two different leveling paths after that. We have no Umbrous aspect, and then we have an Umbrous aspect. The reason that we do this is because you can change around some of the skills that you do if you happen to find the Umbrous aspect. If you don't find it, that's perfectly fine. This will take you all the way to level 60 with no problems whatsoever. The same thing goes for the skill tree. If you look here, we've spent all of our points. In the very first variant, we've only spent 37 points. The second variant, 52 points. We're going to start with just going over all of your skills in the final version here. Now, this planner will be in the description of the video, so make sure you use it. You don't actually have to pause the video to put your skill points in if you're using a planner. If you come right to this little arrow here, you're going to click on this. This is going to open up the planner for you. You can now zoom in, zoom out. You can move it around. You can come right up here too, and then you can click on the leveling path. This is going to pull up a little menu along the side here. This will be how I put the points in while I was actually leveling, and not just what you see on the page. If you were to follow along with just how this is built, you're going to miss out on some key skills at key points during the leveling process. Make sure that this is what you're going to be following along with as we go through. Now, I'm going to go from top to bottom and then just fill in with what we're going to be doing. Then you can follow along with the leveling path. Puncture, this is actually going to be a pretty key point in the way that we're going to be doing this. Because we're going to be running combo points, you're going to need Puncture alongside of Twisting Blades. All the way down through Fundamental Puncture, this is going to make it so that you're going to make enemies vulnerable. We will have other ways of making enemies vulnerable, so this will not be the only way to do it. Twisting Blades, we're going to max this out all the way down through Improved Twisting Blades. Twisting Blades, we're going to be going all the way down through Advanced Twisting Blades. Whenever your Twisting Blades returns, your active cooldowns are going to be reduced per enemy hit up to 2 seconds. We're going to be running Stutter Step. Critical strikes against an enemy's grant 15% movement speed for 4 seconds. Sturdy, you're going to gain 18% close damage reduction. 1 point into Siphoning Strikes. This is going to be a way to heal yourself. You have, on a lucky hit chance, 85% chance to heal yourself for 1% of your maximum life. Shadow Step, this is going to be some mobility for you, and we're going to go all the way up through Methodical Shadow Step. For Shadow Stepping, you're going to gain some damage reduction. 3 points into Weapon Mastery. Based on whatever type of weapon you're going to be using, you're going to gain different bonuses. 3 points into Unstable Elixirs. Whenever we drink a healing potion, enemies are going to be stunned around us, and we're also going to deal increased damage. Trick Attacks. Attempting to daze or stun an enemy increases your critical strike chance, and is also going to increase your damage. Balestra. Gain increased damage for 4 seconds after using Evade. 1 point into Agile so that we can unlock Evasive. After you dodge an attack, you're going to gain damage reduction. Dark Shroud, this is going to be our source of damage reduction. It's also going to be a source of movement speed for us. And then we're also going to heal for 10% of our maximum life whenever a Dark Shroud is removed. 3 points into Exploit, you're going to deal 24% increased damage to healthy and injured enemies. Injured enemies are going to be anything below 35%. Healthy is anything above 80%. Malice, you're going to deal a 9% increased damage to vulnerable enemies and 9% increased damage to knockdown enemies. You can apply both of those simultaneously. Poison Imbuement, all the way down through Blended Poison Imbuement. Critical strikes with Poison Imbuement skills are going to deal 75% increased poisoning damage. Alchemic Advantage, dealing poison damage is going to increase your attack speed. Debilitating Toxins, poison enemies are going to deal less damage to you. Deadly Venom, you're going to deal 18% increased poisoning damage. Precision Imbuement, imbued skills are going to have increased critical strike chance. Impetus, after moving 15 meters, your core skills or ultimate skills have a 24% increased damage. While damage bonus is ready, your basic, agile, and subterfuge skills are also going to deal increased damage. We're going to be taking Shadow Clone here, and we're going to go all the way down through Supreme Shadow Clone. Your Shadow Clone is going to give you additional damage reduction while it's active. We're going to be running Close Quarter Combat. Damaging a close enemy with a Marksman or Cutthroat skill, each is going to grant 15% attack speed bonus for 8 seconds. Well, both attack speed bonuses are active. You're going to deal increased damage, and then that's going to be increased by your damage versus close bonus. For this, you'll need to attack once with your Twisting Blades and once with Puncture. Puncture is a marksman skill. Twisting Blades is going to be a cutthroat skill. When you attack with both, you now have both active. That's going to give you the increased damage and the increased attack speed. So that's the skill tree. Let's take a look at how the aspects are now going to be broken down with this. We're going to be starting at your 26 to 40. That's going to be exactly the same as your level 1 to 25. So we're just going to focus on this one here. Now, all of these are going to be able to be found inside of a dungeon here, so make sure you take a look at this. Now, this is very important here. You do want to make sure that you go straight away to get your Blade Dancer's aspect. That should be the very first thing that you start with when you start this build. So how do you find those dungeons that you're going to need to get all of these aspects? You're going to come into the game. You're going to open up your Codex of Power. And then you're going to just search. You can use the search button right up there to type in Blade Dancer, and then you can find the dungeon that you need in order to unlock the aspect. Now, as you can see, I haven't found this aspect here. It's in the Dead Man's Dredge. It says right here, pinned to map. If I click on that option, whatever it's going to be, if it's on a controller or on a mouse, you're going to pull up your map, and now it is actually pinned the map where the dungeon is. You don't have to go through and Google. You don't have to click on every single dungeon and mouse over it. You can just pin the map and then go right there. So for the aspects, anytime that we use Puncture, we're going to gain 20% damage reduction from Might. Enshrouding aspect, using a healing potion, grants a free Dark Shroud. Each Dark Shroud is going to grant increased damage reduction. Blade Dancers, we just talked about this. This is going to make it so that your Twisting Blades are going to orbit around you for a short time after they return. That's going to deal up to 80% of Twisting Blades' normal damage per hit. Aspect of Deflecting Barrier. Chance after taking direct damage to gain barrier for 20% of your maximum life. Ghost Walkers, whenever you become unstoppable, you're going to gain additional movement speed. Rapid Aspect, this is going to give you basic skill attack speed. Arrow of Storms. On a lucky hit chance, your marksman and your cutthroat skills have a chance to create an arrow storm at the enemy's location that's going to deal physical damage over time. Retribution, you're going to deal increased damage to stunned enemies. Energizing Aspect, damaging an enemy with a basic skill is going to generate energy for you. Ravenous Aspect, killing a vulnerable enemy is going to grant increased energy regeneration for 4 seconds. Aspect of Umbral, restore primary resources whenever you crowd control an enemy. So that's going to be all of the aspects that you can find from dungeons. Now, if you haven't found the Umbrous aspect, nothing changes. You just continue on with your leveling process. If you have found the Umbrous aspect, you're going to just swap right here, and Shrouding is going to change to Umbrous. What this does, Critical Strikes have a chance to grant a free Dark Shroud. That means that you don't actually have to cast Dark Shroud in order to get it. As you can see right here, we've actually put Caltrops on. So the skill tree itself is going to change a little bit. And again, you can follow the leveling path to see what is going to be the best way to do it. But when you come down here, we're going to be taking Caltrops, and then we're also going to be taking Frigid Finesse. Caltrops is now going to do cold damage based on methodical Caltrops. And then with your Frigid Finesse, you gain additional damage to frozen and chilled enemies. So it's just another way we can squeeze a little bit more damage out of the leveling process. So that's going to be the difference between going through and having your no Umbrous versus your Umbrous aspect. And as you can see, there's really not much that you need outside of what you can farm out of a dungeon. For your specialty, we're going to be running combo points. Your basic skills are going to generate combo points. So you're going to want to use Puncture. Now, you will have a chance to grant additional combo points. So you don't actually have to cast 3 of them. I normally just alternate back and forth between basic skill and then core skill. It's going to give us additional bonuses to damage with your core skills when we have combo points. For the runes, we're going to be running Yak's Lum. Whenever we drink a healing potion, it's going to give us more primary resources. And then we're going to be running Kur Ka. These are going to be the way that you're going to summon wolves. The wolves are going to apply vulnerable damage. They're also going to freeze and stun. Now, you saw we had Frigid Finesse. Frigid Finesse is going to also affect that, so we'll be able to do additional damage even if our Caltrops haven't frozen an enemy yet. For your Herodic spell, we're going to be running Disintegrate. We're going to be running Corrosive Vapor with that. That's going to give us some poisoning damage. Tranquil Stone. This is going to give us Unstoppable whenever we activate our Herodic spell, our Catalyst. Shifting Powder. This is going to give us 70% increased movement speed for 5 seconds. Reactive Ooze. Invoking your Catalyst is going to grant you additional resource generation. For your gems, you really don't have to worry about that until the end game. You can just put in whatever you can craft. And then for your mercenaries here, we're going to be running right here. This is a really, really defensive option. If you feel perfectly fine, you can always throw on Subo, get that map hack. But Rahir is going to give you Fortify, which you really can't get as a rogue, so it's just a little bit of defensive options for you. For the opportunity, we're going to be running Variana with Bloodthirst for some additional attack speed. That is all I got for the Twisting Blades rogue. I'm super excited for everybody to get out there and slice and dice some monsters. If you found this video helpful, make sure you share it with your friends. Thank you everybody for watching. I'm live every night. I'd love it if you stopped by, said hi, theory crafted with me. Catch you on the clip side.